In 2022, France's economy, which is the second largest in the EU by population, ranked 7th globally and 3rd in Europe after Germany and the UK. It is categorized as a rich, high-income country by the World Bank. Such success wasn't due to luck, it was blood, sweat and tears all the way. What is going on in the French economy? How does France today differ from France of the Middle Ages? And what challenges are facing the government there? All these questions will be answered in this video, so stay tuned. In the 17th century, France's economy was troubled. The reason France was a powerful nation was not due to her level of development, as it lagged behind England. However, its magnitude in terms of both popularity and territory made it a significant player in the political and economic affairs of the day. It had the best educated elite in Europe while having a lower average educational level. The names of notable individuals in science, maths, technology, literature, and other fields demonstrated this. France is so attractive, like $1 million.
Brand new coupe, I floor it. Brand new Glock, I door it.
But the more authoritarian and centralized administration that French industry had to deal with appears to be the cause of the problem. Business was initially crushed by the aristocracy. And once they were removed from power, radical and unstable political regimes had to be dealt with. Businesses were put through the mill. This delayed the growth of French industry past the point at which industrialization could yield the highest returns. Ultimately, this meant that business there was typically more family-run and smaller than that of Belgium and the United Kingdom. Such an industry was more reliant on government production and was more connected with survival than with growing. They were in dire straits. France's GDP is reached 2.94 trillion in 2021, and in 2020, their economy ranked second in terms of contribution to the EU GDP with a share of 17.2%. It has a robust manufacturing sector and abundant agricultural resources. Luckily, it took first place in the Europe Attractiveness Index for the number of inbound foreign investment projects in Europe, including the UK, for the 4th consecutive year. 21% of all foreign direct investment (FDI) projects in Europe were awarded to France in 2022. It saw a 3% increase in FDI projects year over year, while Europe as a whole saw a 1% increase. With such huge FDIs, France has found a place in the sun. In addition, its advantageous position in the centre of Western Europe, combined with its participation in the EU and the Eurozone, allows the mobility of people, capital, products, and services throughout the bloc. Its workforce, which is highly skilled and ranked 7th in the entire globe, is among the most productive. The workforce there is moving up in the world. If you like this video so far, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. In the past 10 years, regulatory frameworks have been modified with the aim of better accommodating business requirements, boosting competitiveness, and encouraging foreign investment. This comprises a decrease of labour costs, corporation tax rates. For a maximum of 8 years, income tax breaks are available to foreign citizens and returning French expatriates. Along with having one of the most comprehensive research and development (R&D) tax credit programs in the entire world, it additionally offers a 30% tax deduction for research expenses up to 100 million euros and 5% after that. Foreign businesses now have the world by their tail, no? The government has declared attracting foreign investment to be a top priority. They are striking while the iron is hot. President Macron has been hosting the Choose France meeting annually for the past 5 years in an effort to encourage global business leaders to invest in France. For example, Morgan Stanley is almost doubling its number of employees in Paris, while Pfizer is increasing its investment in France by double to 1.2 billion euros over the following 4 years. Seems like they came up trumps. The Talent Passport program, which has made it possible for highly skilled people, investors, or digital entrepreneurs to reside in certain areas, supports this. Although France's labour rules are often among the most stringent, the government has recently modified them to provide companies more freedom and legal certainty when it comes to firing employees. Businesses are carrying the can. The macroeconomic data indicates that these actions are bearing fruit. Since 2017, France's GDP has grown faster than Germany's and the UK's combined. In 2022, year-over-year inflation was kept well below the 8.4 average for the Eurozone at 5.2. Furthermore, Despite being high by global standards, the unemployment rate there has fallen to 7.1, a 40-year low as a result of the creation of 1.2 million jobs since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Let's breathe a huge sigh of relief. In the gold market, the Banque de France has long been a significant participant. The Banque de France has possessed one of the globe's greatest gold and silver reserves since its founding in 1800. What a fat chance! One of the most recognizable coins of the 19th and 20th centuries was the Napoleon 20-franc gold coin. During the 1800s, Paris served as a significant hub for gold imports from countries such as Australia, South Africa, the United States, and Russia. It closely collaborated with other central banks, particularly the London market and the Bank of England. Relying on its strong background in gold reserve management, the Banque de France started offering reserve managers additional gold services in 2012. Seems like they were playing a waiting game since 1800. Apart from providing physical gold storage in its Parisian vault, the Banque de France can use its execution skills to purchase and sell gold on the spot marketplaces for its financial customers. Nowadays, in 2019, it is among the countries with the largest gold reserves, just after the United States, Germany, and Italy. Due to collaboration with a sizable commercial bank that participates in the gold market, the Banque de France is currently able to provide these gold investment services from Paris in addition to London, where they were previously solely available. Because of the upgrades to the Banque de France vaults and the new services it is providing, Paris may eventually become a major gold market again. It's a slam dunk. Everything is perfect. Everything is fine. You might think. Sadly, no. For almost a decade, firms there have been accustomed to having about 10% of their workforce unemployed, which is greater than the EU average of around 7% in 2020. Any hint of improvement in the jobless rate typically makes news. The previous president, François Hollande, frequently professed to have anticipated a large decline in the unemployment rate, but his claims were consistently disingenuous. Hollande decided to throw in the towel. The current state of the French labour market appears rather strange. There are plenty more openings available, yet there is a rising scarcity of suitable candidates to fulfill them. Approximately 200,000 to 330,000 job offers were left unfulfilled recently, primarily due to a lack of qualified applicants, according to Pôle emploi, the job seeker service run by the government there. Employers labelled almost 2/5 of hiring as difficult, an average that concealed much more serious issues in other industries. France is experiencing significant difficulties, according to Patrick Artus, chief economist at the French bank Natixis. The good news is that employment there is finally increasing. This is partially attributable to the Eurozone's wider revival of the economy. The labour reform enacted by President Emmanuel Macron in September of last year, which simplifies redundancy operations and reduces risk for firms, has also stimulated hiring. He was able to save the day. The bad news is that there might be a skills gap starting to emerge, which might drive up salaries and restrict the rate of decline in unemployment. As noted by so many experts, the primary cause of the high rate of structural unemployment in OECD nations is a lack of skills. It's like French employees are missing the boat. In spite of this structural unemployment issue, French unions seem to be powerful. Surprisingly, the reason isn't that many French workers are fully paid union members. In actuality, the percentage of French workers who are members of a trade union has fallen from a peak of over 30% in the 1950s to 11% in 2015. The current percentage is lower than that of several OECD countries. Rather, the true foundation of French union strength nowadays comes from the legislative rights that they have as joint managers of the nation's health and social security system, as well as company representatives and employee representatives in their places of work. They are so powerful that they are able to break the back of the beast. In companies with more than 50 employees, elected union delegates are entitled to express all workers, union members or not, on both work councils and distinct health and safety councils. Bosses need to constantly review these on a wide range of intricate managerial choices. The true strength of the trade union's voice comes from everyday ability to influence the operations of businesses in the private sector. High levels of structural employment, low levels of competitiveness, and heavy public and private debt loads confront France. High unemployment rates continue to worry policymakers, particularly for young people. Seems that the dice are loaded against the youth. In fact, large-scale job losses were prevented by the implementation of short-term work programs, but ongoing efforts to improve worker skills and fix bottlenecks in the educational system would be crucial, according to the International Monetary Fund. Numerous marginalized groups continue to have low employment rates, and social mobility is still limited. Policies to solve these issues are needed, otherwise it would be like going back to square one. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to receive more content. See you in the next video.